it's always nice to see people criticizing the FBI and to note that the FBI is a political organization that acts to support its political allies. For a long, long time, of course, dealing with conservatives mostly, they would fall all over themselves to support federal agents, the FBI. So much of the reason the federal government has power at the level it has is because for decades, at least since Nixon, have run on these law and order tickets, and that usually meant granting more federal power to federal agents through the FBI, who were supposed to be these consummate professionals who would whip local law enforcement into shape and do what other law enforcement agencies either wouldn't do or couldn't do. And of course, there's the FBI that led the massacre at Waco, killing women and children. It was the FBI who led the raid at Ruby Ridge, shooting unarmed children and women. And the only opposition you ever heard was very muted from, just what were considered fringe groups. But mainstream conservatism, these are great heroes, wonderful people. And so the exact same sorts of people that burned down a building around women and children are the same sort of people that are at the FBI now. In many cases, the exact same individuals who, of course, been now promoted since 1993 to the upper echelons of the organization. And one of the nice things, though, about what's happened since 2016 is that it's just become more and more brazen, more and more apparent. And you saw that really just kind of dying in real time in 2016, when James Comey clearly went out of his way to protect Hillary Clinton from any sort of investigation or prosecution. And you still had conservatives lining up saying, oh, well, James Comey is a good man, an honorable man, and he's just afraid. He doesn't want to investigate Hillary Clinton because he needs to protect his family. It's just more naive nonsense from Beltway conservative types, because it became obviously apparent within months and over the next 18 months and the next couple of years that Comey clearly was just covering up for the Clintons, had no interest in prosecuting him, is an extremely wealthy, well-connected, powerful man, and was more than happy to intervene to protect his friends from any sort of prosecution. That's what the FBI has been there for years, is to prosecute the more powerless and to protect presidents and other high-ranking people from any sort of real investigation and prosecution. And that's clearly how the FBI works. The FBI is a Washington-based organization there to protect Washington and its interests. And so because of the way the FBI has treated Trump, who for whatever reason, since he ran for president, he was clearly an insider before he ran for president, hanging out at the White House with the Clintons and those sorts of people, but did something to really annoy these people, and so has been considered an outsider ever since then. And the FBI, the CIA, other organizations have gone out of their way then to, even while he was still running, to make up stories about Russiagate, to protect Biden and Hunter Biden and denounce all evidence against Hunter as Russian propaganda, all of stuff that's been not corroborated. The FBI just seems to be there to anything that we don't like, that's Russian propaganda, but we'll just investigate anyone that the ruling regime doesn't like and seize their goods and occupy their homes, all of that stuff. So this idea that the FBI is a bunch of good, honorable men who can't be persuaded by politics is more obviously nonsense than ever. And I think James Bovart's phrase for the FBI, which he calls a Stasi for America, is probably the most accurate way to describe that organization.